Hello, Megan here, the Heartened Homeschool Mama, and I am here today with a wonderful program to review for you, the ULAT, the Universal Language Acquisition Tool. Vamos a hablar de español. Okay, so we're going to talk about Spanish or other foreign languages as well. He has a French program on here. If you were studying English, he has a program for you, and he's working on other programs as well. German, Russian, Chinese, Italian. So we're going to talk about this program, why I love this program, a little bit about myself, which will help you understand why I like this style of teaching so much. So today I have a complete review for you on the ULAT. All right, let's jump in. Okay, a little bit about myself so you can understand why I love this program so much. I am Megan Jimenez. Before I got married, I am Mexican by descent, but I grew up speaking English. I knew nothing of Spanish by my heritage. And so around middle school, I decided I wanted to start studying Spanish, and I did it in a very traditional setting. So classroom setting, studied Spanish all the way through my senior year in high school, at what point I was in advanced placement Spanish, had gotten straight A's, but could not actually speak hardly anything. You put me in front of a Spanish speaker and I would freeze up. So I actually was done. I didn't think I would continue studying, and I took a break for a year. Thank the Lord, I missed it, decided after my freshman year in college that I wanted to jump in and study again, but I knew it had to be different. I knew something had to change about the traditional classroom way of studying Spanish. So my first decision was, well, I'm gonna go actually to a foreign country. I'm gonna go study in Spain for a little bit, jumpstart my brain again on everything that I'm trusting is in there, but I've never used. So I went to Spain just for a quick 6-week summer study abroad, but it was the first time I was in a setting with people who did not speak English, and I was forced to use whatever Spanish I knew. And it pushed me into, okay, I'm gonna actually use this. And from there, I went on to study Spanish in college. I minored in it, but I actually started traveling. So that was the most important thing, is then every summer I would get myself into a place where I could actually practice Spanish. One place in particular, I went and served in Mexico for 2.5 months, again around people who did not speak English. So I was forced to use it. And that was key for any knowledge I had. So fast forward now to homeschooling my own children. How did I want to teach them Spanish? We do actually spend time abroad. We go on mission trips. My oldest 3 have all been on several mission trips now. So they've had that in-country experience where they couldn't speak, but the few words that they knew, they were using. And that is the idea between this whole program. It is going to instruct from the perspective of the best way for you to learn Spanish in a manner that you will actually use it is to constantly be hearing, constantly be speaking whatever you know. So this program is super unique in that from day one in your lessons, Mr. Nesbitt, Steve Nesbitt, the instructor, will not speak English at all. Not at all, never. So it's a really unique course that in some ways can feel overwhelming. But if you have in your brain the concept of, and this is what I told my kids, I am going to take you, I'm going to drop you off in Mexico, and you're going to learn Spanish. And that is the best way. And since I can't actually do that, this is what I want you to imagine. I have dropped you off with someone who doesn't speak English. Okay, so here's what he does. From the very beginning, what he's going to do is he's going to introduce you lesson 1.1. The very first lesson is he's going to introduce you to his symbols. So in the same way that anybody learns any language for the first time, think about a baby, they don't, have some translation program. What they do is they study your face, they study your meaning. So when you say come here, that's how they're learning what come here means. And so he's going to show you images that mean whether he wants you to watch, to listen, to just repeat him. If you're going to say the word or the sentence, if you are going to do the symbol, so like come here, he's going to use a lot of symbols in his teaching. So he goes through the first lesson. He's going to tell you what the various symbols mean so that you can progress through the lessons. So then lesson 2, our very second lesson, we are immediately learning some verbs. All right, let's go ahead and get into a little bit more of what's on the ULAT here. So you can see there's tons of information here. If you explore the site yourself, you can see some of his history behind the ULAT, what it is, how to use it in a homeschool setting, how to use it in more of a classroom or co-op setting, the various languages that he teaches here, some things that are under construction that he's still adding to. But I'm using the ULAT, and I'm using it in the way that it was originally written, that does not focus on written work in the beginning. So he has an alternative version. If you really want the earlier integration of written work, usually that's classroom settings where you might have administration or something that's requiring you to write early on. But what he talks about and how we're using it is that it's best if you focus on the oral first. And so I don't believe written work comes about in this way until year 3, if I'm correct, but not at all in the beginning. And so that is to get you used to actually speaking and using it, and then we'll get later on to written work. So I have subscribed. The first 15 lessons are free. I would highly encourage you to try those if you think this might work. And to get, this is my advice. Don't do 1 or 2 or even 3 lessons and think, oh, this is hard, and then stop. If you want to try it out, I would say commit for at least those first 15 lessons, because in the beginning when we tried it, it was a bit overwhelming, just as, again, if I dropped you off into a Spanish-speaking foreign country and you couldn't communicate, it would be really overwhelming at first. But then you would start to pick up on a word and another word, and you would start to slowly have success. And that's exactly what happens as you progress in these lessons. And so I'd say it was probably the 8th lesson, my kids, their whole attitude had changed. Like, wow, we're getting this. We're actually able to speak. We're understanding his method of instruction. And so I would really encourage you, if you want to try it, just commit to do those first 15 lessons. So here we are. We're going to go to the table of contents, and we're going to see what exactly does this look like, what is being taught in these first few years. So he jumps right away into teaching some verbs here. So we immediately were learning on, the first lesson was all about the symbols, just understanding his method of instruction. Immediately on our first real lesson, we're learning some verbs. So we watched this first video. He's an excellent teacher, very easy to listen to, and he was teaching vivir, and he's going to go ahead and do it by motion, oral teaching, by an image. He's teaching you constantly the image that is later going to be associated with that word, so that you know anytime he references this word right here that he's talking about vivir. So let's go ahead and watch a little bit of this video lesson to give you a taste of Señor Nesbitt. All right, I'm just going to jump around a little bit.
Hace lo mismo. Si yo digo vivir, ustedes van a repetir, esa es la segunda cosa, van a repetir después de mí y van a usar las manos imitando el gesto que acabo de hacer. Entonces, si yo digo vivir y con las manos hago este gesto, ustedes hacen lo mismo, vivir. Si yo hago esto y yo digo hacer, ustedes hacen lo mismo, ustedes dicen y hacen con las manos, hacer. Repita después de mí. Vamos. Vivir. Sí, muy bien. Después, hacer.
Hacer.
Sí. Y escuchar.
Escuchar.
Bien. Y por fin, lavar.
Lavar. So the students are
Muy
repeating.
Bien. Ahora vamos a ver el último verbo de esta lección, el quinto de estos verbos, que es el verbo decir.
Decir.
Vamos.
Now,
Decir.
Now he's teaching a new verb without ever speaking English.
Decir. Decir.
He focuses a lot on pronunciation.
Él dice, hola. Él dice, hola.
He'll immediately start conjugating verbs, using them in sentences.
Pues eso fue decir.
That was
decir.
decir.
Por ejemplo, yo digo hola o yo digo adiós. Pues con las manos repito después de mí.
You with your hands repeat. And the kids
Empecemos
get
con
it.
decir.
Decir.
Decir. Sí, decir. Bueno, desde el principio, vivir.
And now he's gonna
Usen las manos.
with
Y
your
repitan,
hands.
por
Come on,
favor.
kids.
Vivir. Sí. Hacer.
So you can see his manner of teaching. This is, again, both a pro and a con. I think it is a pro that my kids are hearing so much Spanish, even words that they don't know. And I tell them that there's going to be tons that you don't know. He just kind of adds extra things in the same way that if you were with someone who was trying to teach you something in another country, they might have side conversations. They might have extra words there, but you're gonna begin to pick up on things. And I promise you, he is such a good communicator that he will tell you, repeat, come on, come on. He is so used to teaching kids. It is as if he's sitting in this room with us. I often feel like, I'll want to say something to my kids and it'll immediately come out of his mouth because he knows what they're struggling with. Sometimes he'll make fun of them. Don't say decir like an American, and my kids will crack up. And so every once in a while he'll go into that super American accent, and then he'll really talk about, look at my mouth. This is how I'm saying it. He'll focus on pronunciation, keyword there. And so he's a great teacher. I feel like I know Senor Nesbitt. We feel like we know this man. He's a kind-hearted man who all throughout his teaching, as if you were sitting in someone's classroom and we're getting to know them, they might talk about their family, and he'll use his family as even illustrations. He'll have pictures of his family up here, of his kids. He was talking today about how his son is a trumpet player, and so he likes to listen to classical music. Me gusta la música clásica. Okay, so throughout the lesson, they'll figure it out, even though he's not using any English. And sometimes that's confusing, and sometimes I'll just give my kids the quick translation. His point is that he does not want you to have to translate constantly in your brain. He wants you to begin to think from the beginning in Spanish or whatever target language you might be studying on his program. Okay, so you're gonna have a whole video lesson. Every lesson comes with a video. Toward the second half of the video, he's actually walking you through what you might call the homework or the activities. So he's walking you through what's about to come and how to do it. So this would be, after you watch your particular video, the more hands-on things that you might have your students do on their own. We tend to sit and do them together. So this is where his symbols are telling you, okay, repeat and do. And he's gonna go through, there's another little video of reviewing those verbs. So he's gonna go run through vivir, escuchar, hacer, and whatever they learned today. Then next, activity 3, you're gonna go and you're just gonna listen. There's a lot of listening. He wants you to get the pronunciation right. He gives you tons of review, so much review. So he's gonna go through, and if you notice, everything that has a red line around it, you can click, and that's a link with the audio.
Yo vivo en los Estados Unidos. Él vive en un apartamento.
So he taught the verb, but now he's immediately using it in sentences. They're hearing conjugations. He might not have even taught conjugations yet, but he's going to be using them in sentences so that they understand that word vivir very well. Hacer, escuchar, lavar. Okay, here's some more pronunciation. He's going to talk about what is the correct pronunciation of those words. So we've got another little video. This is all one lesson. Now, activity 4, we're going to go through, we're going to do and say. And again, each of these images is linked to audio. All right, we've got some more just listening. You're going to listen for those conjugations. So every lesson has so many visuals. This is fun. He's got things that you're going to be timed on. And so you time yourself. And my kids love this. He'll have taught it, you've repeated it, and now let's race. Okay, how fast can we go ahead and do this? And can we say all of these words? And they've all got the audio there if you forget, but you're trying to do this by memory. So starting at the beginning, okay, kids, ready, set, go. And we'll hit start and we'll run through hacer, lavar, decir, vivir as fast as we can. And I'll have each of my kids do that. So those are fun activities. Same thing here. So that's just from the very beginning. You can see how much instruction is happening, how much repetition, how much audio, and it's not focused on multiple choice A, B, or C. It is very different than the traditional classroom setting.
Empecemos con la primera. Repitan después de mí, repitan, por favor. Buenos días.
Buenos días.
Otra vez. Buenos días.
Buenos días.
Bueno, otra expresión muy común también es hola.
You can see the progression into other topics very quickly. Here is one of our favorite lessons that came as he was trying to teach the verb gustar. So in this lesson, my kids thought it was so funny. He's going to talk about various things that he likes. So here's a little taste
Ya
of
sé
it.
cuántos tengo. No está aquí el chocolate rojo. Entonces, lástima, no tuve éxito. Ahora, lo que quiero hacer, vamos a hacer... Oh, perdón. Ustedes tienen hambre. ¿Quieren comer? Oh, perdón, no hubiera debido comer delante de ustedes. Sírvanse, tomen un chocolate, no algunos chocolates, tomen un chocolate, tomen. ¿Qué me dicen?
Gracias, señor.
Díganme gracias, señor Nesby.
There's constant
hay
talking
que
back and
de
forth.
nada.
Constant.
Nada, no se preocupen. ¿Dónde está el chocolate rojo que no encontré? Aquí está el chocolate rojo. Dentro de los chocolates azules. Entonces, es por eso que no lo encontré. Miren, el chocolate rojo, los chocolates, ¿cuáles son? Azules. Aquí tengo algunos chocolates verdes y...
So you get a little taste of his teaching style, his personality. I will tell you that we adore Senor Nesbitt. He is just so personable. You feel like you're getting to know him through his lessons. So he's often talking about his family. He was recently talking about his son is a professional musician, and he showed us some clips of his son playing the trumpet. And so you get to know him. He talked about how he lived in France. And so anyways, you feel like you get to know this man through instruction. And so I feel like we want to meet him and we want to talk to him. And so he's very personable. He's very aware of student mistakes. You can tell that he has tons of teaching experience. So he's constantly correcting things in my children that obviously he's just a pre-recorded video, but he knows those common errors. So he's giving corrections. He's having them repeat constantly. He's saying, oh, are you tired today? Or, oh, don't say it like that. Don't say it like an American, correct pronunciation. So he's an excellent teacher. So overall, we love and highly recommend the ULAT. I would encourage you to check it out. It's at theulat.com. Again, he has other languages on here, but we would encourage you, let me know if you have any questions, anything you want to know about how it's worked in our homeschool, but check out the ULAT today. Have a good day.
Definido. Pues aquí tenemos el estudiante. ¿Qué es esto? Digan, aquí. Sí, los estudiantes, así es. La estudiante. Digan. Sí, cuidado, no digan la estudiantes, eso no basta, las estudiantes. Al tipo definido cambia también, tanto como el sustantivo, las estudiantes. Aquí el profesor, ¿qué es esto? Los profesores. Sí, los profesores, muy bien.
Thanks for watching. You can follow me, the Heartened Homeschool Mama, on Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest for more ideas, reviews, and encouragement. Also, head on over to WordPress to find Bowen blogs for more.